Let's see. Let's go ahead and get started. This is problem number 1, right? Yep. Okay. So, practice test. Tomorrow is your actual test. Okay? I should not see phones out. I should not see Chromebooks open. Okay? This is going to, you need to be writing on this, if you can do all of these, the test is going to be a piece of cake for you. Okay? All right. PT, ray PT, bisects RPS. I can't believe how many people came up to me yesterday and said, I don't know what that means. What does it mean to bisect? Split it in half, right? So if this angle right here is 75 degrees, what is this angle?
75 degrees.
Also 75 degrees. What am I trying to find? RPS, which is the whole thing. So 75 plus 75, 150 degrees. Easy peasy. Okay. Number 2, PT bisects. Again, what does bisect mean? Cut it in half. So they are exactly the same measure. So 37 degrees here. What does that mean about this one? 37 degrees. What does it say? Find the measure of angle RPS. RPS is the whole thing. So 37 plus 37 is what? 74 degrees. Now, when you're typing these in, remember how on the quiz it said, think about whether you need to put a degree symbol or not. Anytime you are finding the measure of an angle, see the measure of an angle, M angle, you have to put a degree sign. Okay? Anytime it says find the measure of an angle, you have to put the degree sign. Okay? There are a lot more people that should be making notes about that on their paper than are. Because this is the kind of stuff that you guys lose points on. All right. BT bisects ABC. So what does that mean? This is congruent to that. So they tell me this one is 5x minus 17 and this is 3x plus 14. What do I know about those two things? They're equal to each other. Equal to each other means there's an equation with an equal sign between it, right? 5x minus 17 equals 3/10 or whatever. Then use to find the degree. There we go. Matter if I write 9x minus 12 equals 3x plus 36 or vice versa? Doesn't matter. So we're going to get our x's together. 9x minus 3x is 6x minus 12 equals 36. I'm going to add 12. So 6x equals 48. When you divide by 6, what do you get? You get x equals 8. Is that my answer? No, I need to find the measure of ABT. So this one right here. So I'm going to plug in 8. 9 times 8 minus 12. And I can use my calculator if I want to, but what's 9 times 8? 72 minus 12 is 60, and I better have that degree symbol because it's the measure of an angle. Okay? We have another bisecting here. Lots of bisecting. Actually, these two are both bisecting. All right, bisecting. You can see that they're already marked congruent. You see that little marking there? They are marked congruent already. So what can I do? 2x plus 1 equals negative x plus 16. What does it say? Find the value of x and find the measure of angle ABC. So I'm going to add x. So 3x plus 1 equals 16. Subtract 1. And yes, I'm going through this process fast because this should be really easy for you at this point. Because this is all what we did like the first month of school. So x equals 5. So there's the first part of my answer. Then it asked me to find ABC. Do you notice that ABC is the big angle, not one of the smaller ones? So if I plug in 5, 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1, that means this is 11 degrees, which means this one is also 11 degrees. So the measure of angle ABC is 11 plus 11, or 22 degrees. And that's kind of a trick question because people that don't read through it carefully will say the answer is 11 degrees. because they will forget to make sure that it's the entire thing. Okay? All right, BX bisects TBS. I'm going to draw my picture. I know what a bisected angle looks like. It looks like that, right? What's the vertex of my angle? B. Okay? And then let's see. The bisector is BX, which means X is in that middle part there. Thank you, sir. And then the other ones, I don't think it really matters. I have a T and I have an S. So TBX is 2x plus 5. And TBS is 130, and it should say 130 degrees. And that's all they give me, isn't it? And they want me to find the value of X. Well, they didn't give me this one. But there's this magic word right here. So I can call this one also 2x plus 5. So I can say 2x plus 5 plus 2x plus 5 equals 130. Or what I could have done was said if this is 130, isn't each one of these 65 degrees? Because 65 and 65 is 130. So I could either say this plus this equals 130, or I could say one of my angles has to be 65 degrees on its own. Either way should get you the right answer. Subtract your 5. 2x equals what? 60. Divide by 2, and x equals 30. Is that a degree? Not currently. Questions there? In case you're curious on my answer key, I did it by adding the two angles together and setting it equal to 130. So you get 4x plus 10 equals 130. Subtract your 10, that gives you 4x equals 120. You still end up with x equals 30. Either way, both are completely fine to think about. Okay? Any questions about the bisecting angles problems? No? You sure? Speak now, because tomorrow I can't answer your questions. Okay. 6 and 7, what do we have? What are they called? What are they called? Vertical angles. What are vertical angles? They're the opposite angles when you have two lines intersecting. Okay? When I taught this, I talked about them as kissy fishies. Remember those? Because of my daughter's pajamas. What do we know about vertical angles? Vertical angles are congruent. So that means this angle equals that angle. And this angle equals that angle. What do I know about any two angles that are next to each other? Like that, in these. Every single one of them has the same relationship. What do I know about those? These ones are going to equal 180. But the ones across from each other are going to equal each other. All right? So, 130 minus x equals what? X minus 50. Okay? I'm going to add x because I want x to be positive just because I like positive things. So 130 equals 2x minus 50. Add 50. So 180 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and x equals 90. Notice that's my first blank. Is that a degree? No. Now it asks me for the measure of angle AOD. I'm going to hold off on that one for a minute because I think the other one might be a little bit easier to find. First, DOC, yes. I can find that one easier. What's 90 minus 50? So that one is 40 what? Degrees. So if I know this is 40, what did we say about two angles that are next to each other on these lines? They're going to equal 180 together. So 40 plus what is 180? What is it? 140 degrees. Okay. Questions there? All right, let's look at this guy. Again, those are vertical angles, right? They're opposite each other. So 3x plus 11 equals x plus 89, or you could say x plus 89 equals 3x plus 11. Doesn't matter. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So 2x plus 11 equals 89. Subtract 11. 2x equals 78. Divide by 2. And what does x equal? 39. Is that a degree measure? No. Now, I have to find POS. POS, that's this guy. I can do that. 39 plus 89. 39 plus 89 is 128. Oops. So this is 128 degrees. And SOR, SOR, that's this guy. Exact same situation as over here. What do I know about those two angles? They equal 180 together. So how do I find this one? 180 minus 128. 52 degrees. Okay. Any questions about those? Okay. All right, I want to show you some things here. Because there were people that yesterday I said, what are supplementary angles? You have to know these definitions. So I want to show you something. Unfortunately, you have a teacher that is absolutely ridiculously organized. Like, to a fault, ridiculously organized. Can I zoom out? I don't know if I can zoom out at all. Nope, can't zoom out any further. But that's okay. So, here's what I have here. Supplementary angles are in your 2.3 notes. Same thing with complementary angles and your linear pair. All of those, if you go to your 2.3 notes, let me show you my 2.3 notes. I will show you the exact ones that I actually took in class. 2.3. These are the notes I wrote in class. Complementary, supplementary, linear pair. Those should be the first things on those notes you've got. So what are complementary? They are two angles whose measures add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary, two angles who add up to 180. And a linear pair is supplementary and adjacent. Okay. Let's see. Vertex is in your 2.1 notes, as well as angle is in your 2.1 notes. Did you see that? Oh, that was on the screen. Vertex and angle are both in your 2.1 notes. I'll show that to you in a minute once I'm done there. And again, because your teacher is ridiculously organized, 2.1 notes. We took these notes on January 31st. Here's the definition of an angle. Here's the definition of a vertex. There's also the definition of a side that happens to not be on there. Okay? Angle is the space created between two rays sharing a common endpoint. A vertex is the common endpoint where the two rays meet. Okay? So if you come up to me and you're like, I don't know what a vertex is, I don't know what vertical angles are, I don't know what supplementary angles are, that is entirely on you because it's in your notes. You just got to open it and you got to learn it. Okay? There's nothing I can do for you there. All right, what have we got next? Congruent. Congruent, guess what? That's defined in notes 2.4. Same thing with vertical angles in notes 2.4. So both of those are 2.4. Let me show you your 2.4 notes. Right there, taken in class. Vertical angles. Each of the pairs of vertical angles are made by two intersecting lines. They're the opposite ones. Congruent. Angles are congruent when they have the same measure. Vertical angles are congruent to each other. Everything is right there. And let's see, adjacent angles. That's in lesson 2.2. So if I go to my 2.2 notes, where's my 2.2 notes? Here they are. 2.2 notes. Adjacent angles. Next to each other, share a side. Okay? And angle bisectors, the last one that we don't have filled in, that's in your 2.5 notes, which is the most recent ones. If we look at our 2.5 notes right here, there was congruent, there's also an angle bisector. Angle bisector is a ray, line, or line segment that divides an angle into two congruent angles. Okay, so let me put that up there again so that you can see them all. And there's actually a trick here. Congruent is defined in actually two sets of our notes there, 2.4 and 2.5. So from this, you should be able to see that we have how many sets of notes for Unit 2? 5 sets of notes, 2.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's where all those definitions are. Okay? If you didn't take your notes in class, shame on you. Go get a glossary. Go get a dictionary. Figure it out. Okay? Because I gave you everything you needed to know for this. All right? All right. You got that? Backside. Find the value of x. What does this little box here mean? It's a 90-degree angle. So in other words, 2x plus what? Equals 90. So what am I going to do? Subtract 34. 2x equals what? 90, 80, 70, 60, 56. Divide by 2. And 56 divided by 2 is 28. Now on the test, I believe I have the x equals typed in. You just have to type in the 28. And you need to know, does it need a degree symbol or not? Okay? All right. So these two angles, what would we call them if they made a right angle? Okay, so these were complementary. What do I have going on here? Supplementary. Are they adjacent supplementary? Adjacent meaning they share a side? They are adjacent, which means they get that special name. What's that special name? Linear pair. So what do I know about these two things? I know that 2x plus x minus 12, here's one angle plus the second angle, equals 180. These are on the same side of the equal sign, so you just add them. They're like terms. What do I do next? Add 12. 3x equals 192. Divide by 3. And x equals what? 192 divided by 3, 64. Is that a degree measure? Nope. Questions there? Yes. It doesn't say to in the instructions. I just wanted to explain it to make sure. There is quite a bit of vocabulary on tomorrow's test. Quite a bit. Okay? There's not only matching like you had yesterday. I want to say there might be a question like on the quiz where it says find the complement and the supplement. You know, if I tell you an angle is 50 degrees, what's the supplement? What's the complement? Subtract from 90 for a complement. Subtract from 180 for the supplement. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's a lot of that stuff tomorrow. Okay? So in other words, you really have to know these guys. Okay? All right. Find x if KLM, the whole thing, is 19x plus 9. And this little guy right there is 3x minus 7. And BLM, that one is 160. All right, what's my equation? 3x minus 7, that's one angle, plus this angle equals 19x plus 9. Now, be careful, because based on this drawing, it almost looks like you could call this 180, doesn't it? But we don't know that for sure, especially because they didn't call it 180. They called it 19x plus 9. So don't jump to that conclusion. Use the values they're giving to you. So let's see. 3x, what's negative 7 and positive 160? 153 equals 19x plus 9. Now what? Subtract 3x. So 153 equals 16x plus 9. I'm going to move the 9. What's 153 minus 9? 144. Divide by 16. And x equals 144 divided by 16, 9. Is that a degree measure? Nope. Questions there? All right. Find x if the measure of PQI, that's this guy down here, is 6x plus 10. If PQR, that's the whole thing, is 163. And you can kind of tell it's not a straight line, right? I'm actually curious. I'm going to go back here. Is this 180 degrees? How would I find out? 19 times 9 plus 9, right? 19 times 9 plus 9, is that 180? It is, so that is a straight line. You just never know if it's slightly bent like this if they don't give you a degree measure for that big one, if they give you an expression for it. All right, so this one's 163 degrees. IQR is 19x plus 3. And I'm looking for x, so what's my equation? 6x plus 10 plus 19x plus 3. Here's one of the angles. Here's the second angle equals what? 163. Now again, combining like terms on the same side. What's 6x and 19x? 25x. 10 plus 3 equals 163. I'm going to subtract 13. 25x equals 150. Divide by 25. X equals 6. Degree measure? Nope. Questions over that one? All right, moving on. Okay, the measure of angle JKS, that's that guy right there, 21 degrees. SKL, that's this guy, is 16x plus 2, and the whole thing is 19x minus 1. What's my equation? 21, which is one of my angles, plus that angle equals, okay, combine your like terms on the same side. I have 16x plus 23 equals 19x minus 1. I'm going to subtract 16x. Again, you could subtract 19x. I just like to keep things positive. 23 equals 3x minus 1. Add 1. So 24 equals 3x. Divide by 3. And what do I get? X equals 8. Ah! I boxed it and it's not my answer, didn't I? Shame on me. Hopefully you don't make that mistake. I need to find the measure of angle SKL. That's this angle right here. So 16 times 8 plus 2. 16 times 8 plus 2, 130. So 130, and yes, that's a degree measure. That should actually be my answer, not just the x equals 8. Okay, we good there? All right, find the measure of angle PQR. I'm looking for the whole thing. If CQR is 115 degrees, and the whole thing, PQR, is 12x minus, or 12x plus 4, and this one right here is 2x minus 1. Now, someone came up to me yesterday and they were asking, why are they asking me to find PQR if they're already giving you PQR? Well, they're not giving me PQR in a degree measure. So I need to find what it is in degrees. So what kind of equation can I set up? 115, that's one angle, plus 2x minus 1, that's the second angle, equals 12x plus 4. So over here I have 2x, what's 115 minus 1? Plus 114 equals 12x plus 4. Move my 2x. So 114 is equal to 10x plus 4. Subtract your 4. 10x equals 110. Divide by 10, and x equals 11. I'm finding PQR, which again is the 12x plus 4. So I have to do 12 times 11 plus 4, and what does that equal? 12 times 11 plus 4. How about I insert another one there so it's 11? There we go. 136 what? Degrees. Questions there? All right, name each angle in 4 ways. Okay? I can call this angle 3. I can call this angle M. Why can I call this angle M and I can't call this angle K? This one has multiple angles at that vertex. This one only has one, which is why I can do that. What else can I call it? And exactly. This is the exact same type of question. Angle 1, angle J, angle IJK, and angle KJI. Okay? All right, 17 and 18 I think I need a little bit of space for. So let me grab a piece of paper. I just don't feel like I have enough space there to answer those. So, number 17. LMS and NMS are adjacent angles. I have no idea if they're acute, obtuse. Obviously, my picture is not necessarily going to be to scale. Does it say that anything about bisecting? So I can't assume these two angles are equal. All I know is they're next to each other. What is the vertex? M, because you see that's the middle one. What is the point on the ray they share? S, because it's the other letter they both have. Then one of them gets an L, and the other one gets a N. Okay, find LMS. So this is what I'm looking for. If LMN is 82 degrees, LMS is 2x minus 1, and SMN is 3x plus 23. So there's my picture. What kind of equation can I set up? 2x minus 1, that's one of the angles, plus 3x plus 23 is equal to 82. So again, we're on the same side of the equal sign. 2x plus 3x is 5x. Negative 1 plus 23 equals 82. Subtract 22. What's 82 minus 22? 60. Divide by 5. X equals what? 12. Was that what they were asking? Were they asking for x? I need to find LMS. So that was this guy right here. So 2 times 12 minus 1. 2 times 12 is minus 1 is 23. Is that a degree measure? Yep. Questions on that guy? All right. Number 18. Draw the picture that goes here. LQR and PQL are adjacent angles. So again, I'm going to draw my adjacent angles. There's my adjacent angles. I've got points on each of these rays, and I have a vertex. What's my vertex? Q, because that's what's in the middle of each of them. What's the other letter they share? L. So that's got to be on the side they share if it's a letter they share. Then this one gets an R, and this one gets a P. All right, PQL is what I'm looking for. And they also say it's 46x. PQR, which is the whole thing, is 161x. And LQR is 115 degrees. You okay with that? Now, obviously, my picture is not to scale because 115 degrees does not make sense. I have an acute angle drawn, and 115 degrees is not acute, right? So my picture doesn't match, but the numbers do, and that's what matters. So what's my equation that I can set up? 115, that's one of the angles, plus 46x equals 161x. I don't have any like terms to combine, so what do I do? Subtract 46x. So 115 is equal to 161 minus 46. Huh. Okay. Divide by 115. And x equals 1. And what are they asking me for? Not x, but they're asking me for PQL, which is this one. So 46 times 1 is what? 46 degrees. Questions on that one? All right, we're down to the last two. Find the supplement and the complement. Okay? Supplement, complement. Okay? Supplement means it's going to add to this and equal what? 180. So I do 180 minus 62, and I get 118 degrees. Complement means it's going to add to this to get 90. 90 minus 62 is 28 degrees. Biggest place where people get these wrong, they reverse them. They know one of them is 90, one of them is 180, and they don't remember which one. Again, the way I always remembered it is a complement makes a corner, and a corner is a 90-degree angle. So the C and the C, that's the way I remember. Okay? If that doesn't work for you, find something that does. Okay? Supplement, complement. So again, supplement is going to add to 180. So 180 minus 48, you can't see what I got there, is 132. Again, that is an angle, so it has to be a degree measure. And the complement, 90 minus 48, is 42 degrees. Do you notice anything about the complement and the supplement that they might have in common? The last digit is the same, because they need to add to get either 90 or 180, both of which end in a 0. So they need to make a 10 somehow. Okay? Any questions there? All right. Would you like me to take a picture of this and post it along with the video? Okay. I will do that for you. I will post it on the stream. My job is done. Happy studying.